the episode 3. So on the first episode 1, we looked at Ital Livity, what it is. We explained to everybody what it means. And then episode 2, we looked at how to start your transition. And
yes, and of course, tonight we're going to be discussing hybrid foods and cancer.
Yes, very, very important to learn about this. So last time, Sheriff, we learned a little bit about what hybrid foods are, but we didn't focus on it.
Yes.
And I think maybe some of us were a little bit confused about what it
Even
actually
myself.
is. Yeah, man. So our sister Righteous, we asked her to explain to us now, what are hybrid foods?
The hearts are not natural and cause disease.
Reggae Safari. Vibes Airways that can take you around the world on a unique reggae safari.
And it is Ital Livity, episode 3 with Sister Righteous. And we're discussing hybrid foods and cancer. And, hybrids are usually easy identified as fruits that are seedless. Okay? Kuna hizi, zinakuwaga hazina seed ndani.
Yes.
They're more like made in a lab and everything. So these are the kind of food that we're talking about. Now, we want to find out, how was hybrid food introduced to Kenya? And Sister Righteous is going to tell us a little bit about that.
So yeah, that's a good question. How were those crops introduced into Kenya? Like many hybrids, Trinidani need traditional indigenous.
Playing reggae like you've never heard before. This is Vibes Radio.
And up next is a question that we got to ask Sister Righteous. She, why are hybrid foods harmful to the African DNA? Because we found out what they are, and we found out how they're brought to us, right? Zilikuja na wakolonia, like a lot of problems that came to Africans. So they decided we need to produce this food like maize in mass. Funded the projects, sahi tumezoea. If you go any corner in Kenya, and I'll attest to this, I'm one of those addicts.
Yes.
Mahindi choma. Hey, mi nikiona mahindi choma, hata kama nilitoka kula ingine 20 minutes before, nitaitamani, I'll want some more. Unajua?
Funny enough, some of these foods are as a result of biological warfare.
Yeah, can you imagine? So that we can get sick. Yani tukule hizi food generation after generation after generation so that we could get sick. Yeah man. So it's a big problem, and so we're about to find out why hybrid foods are harmful to the African DNA.
Yes, Vibes Nation, good question. Why are hybrid foods harmful to the African DNA?
Playing reggae like you've never heard before. This is Vibes Radio.
Here's a little bit about food and we recently came to find out, Sheriff, that actually what we eat, a lot of what we eat causes cancer. And it used to be such a Western disease. I remember a time when, cancer was just for Babylon, or only the foreigners used to get it. But right now, it is something that is hitting the whole world, and also Africa getting very affected by it. So it's super important to also learn a little bit about the cancer statistics. And so we spoke to Sister Righteous about that. Let's take a listen.
Cancer is in the next segment, please.
Playing reggae like you've never heard before. This is Vibes Radio.
Big love to Sister Righteous for always sharing this information with us. Right now, she's going to be talking to us still about cancer, because we all know, as she said, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. You can imagine when you have cancer, Apple, the hospital, the amount of money that they're going to get from you. So, of course, they want us to eat the wrong food. Of course, they want us to just think that, it's something that just happens to us.
They want you to eat junk.
Exactly.
That's why in every corner there's a junk food
place. Yeah. And all the GMOs and everything that causes cancer, So, guys, we love you so much, Vibes Nation. We want you to be strong, healthy African youths. And so that's why we're doing this Ital Livity. I hope you're learning something. And on Wagwan, if you have any questions for Sister Righteous about the Ital Livity, of course, you can give us a call. But right now, let's take a listen to more from Sister Righteous about cancer.
Yes, more on cancer wars of your body. And if that one's compromised, that's when you get cancer.
Catch the vibes on air and online.